Hi,
My name is Tracy,
and my name is Lynn.
and together we
are
are Bollocks and Balls. We like to chat
And boy, can we chat.
about the bollocks and balls.
Mainly in our heads, but also about life in general. After all, it's good to talk. Afternoon. It is
afternoon.
That's what I was just checking. I was like, is it? Yes, actually.
It is. It actually is.
Woohoo! And the sun's shining.
I know, the miracle begins.
Oh, I hope it bloody stays, isn't
I
it?
know, it's a bit like one day sun, one day rain, one day sun, one day
no.
rain, isn't it? Never
We'd
mind.
just do with a bit more sun, to be honest, couldn't we?
We have only tipped into May, haven't we? So
I know.
I think we forget that old saying, April showers. So we had showers, didn't we?
Oh yeah, there was plenty of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we forget sometimes that it is showery in April.
I was just thinking that leads us on nicely to we need to accept that April showers exist.
We do, don't we? We do. Let's bring the good old British weather into this.
We need to accept that rain is just weather.
Yes. It's funny, isn't it, really? Do you know what? I was actually thinking this yesterday when I was out walking the dog with acceptance and how we do that with the weather, really, don't we? Or well, maybe some people don't. But like when you get up in the morning and you look out the window and it's pissing down with rain, you go, oh, great.
Yeah.
But then you just accept that it's raining and go, right, accept that I have to wear this today, I have to put my coat on, I have to wear those shoes. So we sort of do it in a sense, don't we? Without realising sometimes.
Yeah, because I think everybody's aware that the weather is out of your control, isn't it?
Exactly. So there's absolutely fuck all we can do about it. So we have to accept it.
Yes.
We might not like it.
No, granted.
But we have to accept it and go, okay, I was going to wear my sandals today, but it's raining, so I have to wear my shoes. So we have to make changes.
Yeah.
But we accept it's going to rain today. It's going to rain all day.
Yeah.
So just get on with it.
Yeah, like you say, nobody questions that, do they?
No, I mean, there might be people out there that do this, but you don't go, right, that's it, fuck it, it's raining, I'm not going out today, I'm not going to work, I'm not going to do this. See, not really, do we?
Well, no, not you. No.
There might be a few that do, but in general.
Well, no, you have to like suck it up and get on with it, don't you? Because you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, like you said, it's out of your control, isn't it? So it's funny how there are things in life that we do that. Look at me waving my hands around. like I'm on my soapbox here.
She is.
But no, it's funny, isn't it? It's like, so why can't we accept things about ourselves? Because I'll tell you what else we do. Sorry, I'm hogging it.
No,
here.
go on, go. I'm liking this word.
Is like we talk about quirks, don't we, and flaws and imperfection and all that. In general, we accept them in other people.
Oh God, yes.
Because we'll go, no, that's part of who you are. That's what makes you who you are, and all that. Look in the frickin' mirror, isn't it?
Oh.
We don't ever accept it for ourselves, but we do for other people, and we'll go out of our way to go, no, that's who you are, because it is.
Yeah. It is, and we're much more accepting of other people than we are of ourselves.
We're just horrible to ourselves.
Yes, because we don't see it as an imperfection or a flaw or as a bad thing in other people.
No,
but we see it as a bad thing in ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you are right. Definitely, people are much more accepting of other people.
We're funny old sods, aren't we?
Yeah. But it's really odd, like you say, isn't it? I suppose with the whole weather thing, I think because you're brought up accepting that you can do sod all about the weather, you don't think about it.
No.
You do it, that's the way it's got to be. There's nothing you can do about it. But we're not brought up, are we, to accept ourselves as we are?
No, we're not, are we? Not at all.
and not with any intention by our parents to make us feel like that, but that's that whole programming thing is. But like you say, we're usually generally most people are brought up to be tolerant of other people in the way they are.
Yeah.
So like you say,
and I don't think we do that to be polite. We do that genuinely.
Oh God,
if
yes.
There's something quirky about something. We tend to love it in other people.
Yeah.
We love it when we see that in other people, or that comes out in other people. We love that.
Yes, I think there's something liberating to see people being themselves, and people accepting themselves for themselves. And like you say, I think that's a heartwarming thing to see in other people. But like you say, for you to actually do it yourself is a whole different ballgame.
It is, isn't it? And it's really, really difficult.
It is really hard.
Yeah.
And I don't think people really, really get it.
No. It's a very big word, acceptance.
Yes.
Is that just because we make it big? We obviously do. If I look at that and I look at it as a big word, it's obviously something that I feel is big to do, accept, isn't it?
But I think acceptance is a big thing to do. I think the acceptance of the bits you don't really like and the bits you see as flaws or imperfections are the worst bits to try and accept that they exist.
Yeah.
But the most liberating if you do it.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I think that acceptance I think there is a difference between acceptance and knowing that it's there.
Yes.
So
very interesting. Yeah, you are right.
So we all know we have certain flaws, and we have certain ways or quirks or anything like that, or a certain side of us we don't show to other people, generally to other people. We all know that exists, but in my head, true acceptance is a different thing.
Yeah, no, you're right. Definitely. It's a whole difference between, like you say, knowing it's there and accepting it's there.
Yeah, and embrace it and not have. I think that knowing it is there comes with guilt and shame, especially for the bits that you don't like showing other people.
Yeah.
When you've got a level of acceptance there, you're not feeling shilty or game.
I like that word, shilty.
And game, you might be game for it. Oh God. You might not feel guilt or shame, but you don't feel guilt and shame for those parts of them, and you're willing to be open about those parts of you that you don't show anybody. That for me is the difference.
Yeah, no, you're right. Definitely.
But it's getting to that point that you don't have guilt and shame, because guilt is such a bitch of an emotion.
And shame.
And shame.
Shame ourselves for things that we really don't need to.
I know.
And we feel guilty for things we really don't need to.
Yeah.
Because they only come from other people.
Yes. But that's it, isn't it? They come from other people, so you know, and like we said it hundreds of times before, the whole don't be angry part of us, but anger's in all of us.
Yeah.
But then you have a guilt and a shame if you feel angry. So you can't, you know that part of you's there, but you struggle to accept that because it comes with guilt and shame.
And that's what we also have to take responsibility for, because other people don't make us feel anything.
No.
It's what we feel ourselves. And nobody can make you feel anything.
No. But again, it's that, how are you feeling at that time when those words are spoken, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it's really, I think acceptance is hard to do. I think it takes a lot of work and a lot of talking to realise that, those parts of you that you don't really want to accept. are
Yeah.
there, but that you shouldn't have guilt and shame about
No,
them.
not at all. See, we talk about, don't we, like embracing and acceptance. And I think embracing almost feels like a softer
Yes.
word. Whether that is because you relate an embrace to a hug, because that's an embrace. So I think if we're starting this journey,
Yeah.
then maybe it would be a good idea to start with embracing.
I like that.
Because you can sort of hug yourself with it a bit.
Yes.
Then embrace it. It doesn't feel quite as harsh.
No.
As having to accept it. So I think if we could start the journey and think, okay, I'll embrace that part of me.
Yes.
And when I see it there or I fear bringing it forward, I just give it a bit of a hug.
Yeah.
And bring it out. And that feels a lot gentler, a lot softer, a lot more doable.
Definitely.
So maybe we should start with an embrace.
I think embracing is a good term.
And then we can lead it. The more we embrace it, the more then we feel comfortable with it. The more then hopefully we can bring it out and accept it.
I think in starting to embrace that would naturally lead to that acceptance.
Yeah.
But like you say, the embracing, like you say, gives it a kind. For me, in my head, embracing is giving you kindness to yourself.
Yeah. And that's what we need to do.
That's what we say all the time, isn't it? That whole self-care, that be kind to yourself. So yeah. So it is, like you say, swapping it again for that whole language thing, using the word embrace rather than the word accept.
So if you're on a journey of like thinking, right, I'm going to start to accept things about myself, but you feel that that's really hard, then let's try go with embracing.
Yeah. Because I think it gives you a little bit more of a leeway, doesn't it? It feels like you say, it feels like you're just starting to do that.
And it feels like that thing, you're sort of holding it by the hand, aren't you? And putting your arm around its shoulder and going, come on, come out, come to play.
But I think that's a really good way of looking at it. Almost like you are doing that. You know, that part of you, you know, because often that's like inner child work, isn't it? Is that a part of you? Like you say, you take the hand and you go, okay, this is what I need to do.
I'll support you, I'll guide you, I'll help you, I'm here for you.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a beautiful way of doing it. I think,
I just think it's a shame if people just fear that word, fear what it means, and then don't do the work.
No.
Because it is so rewarding when we can just accept things. Be that things about yourself, be that other people, other things.
Yeah.
There's a whole... The world would be a better place.
I would genuinely, it would.
Sorry, go on. There's a lot of words linked with acceptance, isn't there?
Yeah.
With judgments and all that sort of thing, and we need to dispel those.
I think embracing things that have happened to us, like say, whether that's people, whether that's moments in time that have happened to us, or you know, or whether things have happened to us at the hands of other people.
Yes.
Acceptance becomes a massive thing then, because you know there's a whole load of other stuff attached to that. But I can't remember where I was going with that. But I think
it's a hard journey.
It is a hard thing, and I think there's also a level, especially when you're dealing with events that have happened that have involved other people. There's a level of, if I accept that, then I forgive people. And I think there's a crossover between acceptance and forgiveness. And people can't accept stuff because that would involve forgiving.
Yeah, and I think people get very crossed over with forgiving because I think they always think it's on, and I think this is a programming thing a little bit from religions, like forgiving people, but forgiveness isn't about other people. No. Forgiveness starts with you.
Yeah.
And when we can forgive ourselves, that's where we can accept things.
Yes.
And move on from them.
Yeah.
We can't change them.
No.
Or anything like that. And We can't rub them out. They're these things happened in whatever capacity that is. But if we can put some of our own forgiveness on ourselves,
yes,
and forget about forgiving other people, that's irrelevant in a sense.
Yeah.
Because the acceptance will put that in a place.
It will. And I think also with acceptance and forgiveness and all that becomes that, and that whole thing about responsibility of the part you played in anything.
And that's the hard bit.
And people really struggle with that. Really struggle. And especially with things that happen to people.
Yeah.
People really struggle with that.
Absolutely.
And again, the difference between, and people really struggle with this because I've had conversations with other people about the difference of saying, okay, I accept responsibility for my part in that event that happened, and they're going, but you're blaming yourself. I was like, no. There's a difference between me sitting here going, oh, it's all my fault, I'm blaming myself, that's down to me, and me actually going, okay, this happened because I take responsibility for my actions in those times, and I'm not blaming myself for them now, but I take responsibility for that action at that time and the way I was at that time, which is different than I am now. But actually, once you do that, again, that's really liberating.
Oh, huge. Yeah.
But again, people struggle with that. Well, if you're accepting responsibility, you're blaming. No. Two different things.
No. It's funny how. Well, I think we automatically jump to that, don't we?
Yep.
Because that's something that's been a little bit ingrained in us.
Yeah, that somebody needs to be at fault.
Yes. Yeah. And we're never saying that's the case.
No.
There's a huge difference. And that goes back also with, like, what we tell ourselves, isn't it?
God, yeah.
When we have to really look in the mirror and go, is that actually the truth?
But that's it. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is we talk about this stuff all the time, but actually it's all intertwined.
Yes, it is.
It's not right, we're going to get you to do this thing, and then that means because you've done that thing, you can go on to this thing, and you can go on to that thing, and then by the time you've finished our 6 pillars, you're all going to be hunky-dory. In actual fact, it's can intertwined everywhere which way you go.
Oh, and haven't we found that with stuff with content and things that we've been trying to write, and we go, right, let's do something about this, and then we go, yeah, but if you do that about that, and then that's intertwined with that, and that's intertwined with that, and that's a bit of that, and it's really hard.
It is really hard, and I think it is, and like you say, it's all interlinked. It all the acceptance and language and the stories we tell ourselves and our inner bitch and emotions, and it's one whole fucking melting pot. Do you know where it's all just like mixed into one?
And that's why it makes it so difficult, because it's not like, right, I'm going to work on that.
No.
Because when you start working on that, you're pulling in a little bit of all this, and you're like, fuck, now I've got to look at that, and I've got to take responsibility for that, and oh, look at what I said there, oh my god, look what I told myself. That voice is going.
And the thing is, like you say, and I think what people also think that is once you've done something, that's the end of it.
No.
But it's not, is it?
I wish it was.
So do I.
No.
It's not. I'm sure I've written a post somewhere, but it's never ending journey.
Even when you think it is. Even when you think, I've dealt with that. And then you get to, it's almost like that next conscious level. Takes you to the next level of that situation. Yeah. And it's like, oh.
And that's the thing. And I also think sometimes, and I'm sure I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but I know it is for me, that you work on a certain part and you think, okay, I'm all right with that. And that's fine. And to be honest, it might be a really small thing.
Mm-hmm.
but actually that one comes back and back again. But actually something quite traumatic, you can get through actually relatively quick. Do you know what I mean? Oh, that's fine. Okay, yeah, I accept. That's fine.
That, yeah.
Blah, that's all right. But no, one little fuck up in the head that just goes meh at you.
It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah, but like you say, and we've talked about it before, isn't it? The whole onion peeling thing, isn't it? You take off one layer thinking, oh, I've done that. No, fucking here we go again. And it is, but I think it's accepting, and I think that's where a lot of people need to start, is accept that it's a constantly evolving process.
Yes.
It's always going to happen.
And I think life is very much like that.
Oh God, yeah.
Because I got hung up on that years and years ago, like, well, I must have a purpose. What's my purpose? What is my purpose? I need to find my purpose. And actually, I don't know where it was one day, and it's just like, purpose is simply just to live your life.
Yeah.
But we get so hung up on everything outside and it's all, all like the now, isn't it? But it is so true.
Yeah.
And it is like, just be who you are now.
That's it.
And everything will just click into place. Everything will, will start to be how it should be. But we're always like searching. And I think sometimes we just need to, like you said, accept this is us and sit with it and be okay with it.
Yeah. And I'm the biggest failure, but
big word.
It was a big word, wasn't it? Great, I'm going to be in a car with her for the next 2 hours in a minute. Jesus, we're going to have a hell of a conversation now. Fuck. That was definitely a Freudian slip of the tongue that will now be dissected to within an inch of its life.
Always a reason these things come out your mouth.
But my biggest thing is, and it's just made me think, because it came up in a moon circle I did with Kirsty last night. But are you doing the work to make yourself better and fix yourself? Or are you doing the work because you accept yourself how you are, but you're working to empower yourself even more, kind of thing? And that really resonated with me, because I am a fixer. And you tell me off all the time for doing it.
She's a fixer-upper.
Yeah. Are you doing that work to fix yourself? And generally, I like you say, I've done that work to fix myself because I've not accepted where I am.
If you've not accepted, you're not broken.
No, exactly. But that, so for me, isn't it? Even with all that stuff,
yeah,
that it is that acceptance, like you've just said, of being you as you are in this given moment now.
And that's all we need. It's all we need. There's, there's a past we can't change. Well, we can't change what happened. We can change the way we look at it.
Yes.
And acceptance will bring that.
Yes.
Which will bring you a lot of peace and calm, physically, mentally, whatever.
Yeah.
And we don't know what's ahead.
Well, no, nobody does, do they?
No. So we can't worry about that. We can't be doing, what we're going to be doing, what, Yes, we can look forward to a certain extent with enthusiasm, excitement, and all that sort of thing, because you don't ever want to think, well, it might die, it might finish in an hour.
It's not generally
the point, might not be here in an hour's time. So yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's all we need to is just accept us now.
That's it. But
and I think purpose changes as well.
Oh God, yeah.
We're all on this planet for some sort of purpose. Do we actually need to know what that purpose is, or do we just need to live life and accept ourselves and accept other people to make it a nice place to be and a nice place to live and a nice life and enjoy what we have?
I think I think we all need to live like that. I just don't think we trust. I think trust comes into that we don't trust.
And is that because we don't trust ourselves?
I think there's a lot of
we
that.
Don't trust other people.
And I think there's also a thing in whatever your belief system is, whether you trust in that, like you say, that higher purpose. Are we all here for a reason? And whether we just trust that, like you say, not everybody has a massive lightning bolt with angels and God talking to them, do they?
No.
In fact, probably most people don't. So
not dissing if you do.
That's fine. If you've had that,
tell us all about it. I'd love to hear it.
Amazing. Great. I'd love to hear it. But not everybody has that.
No.
And I think, and it's another thing I think that's been programmed out of us, is listening to ourselves and trusting ourselves that we have the answers, but we don't. Again, it's that whole looking externally out of you and accepting that you have the answers within you.
I think, in a way, that the world, we don't stop at the moment.
No.
And it's in those moments when you stop, is when you'll hear those things, is when you feel those things.
Yes.
Because if you're busy, busy, it's going to almost pass you by because you'll miss it.
Yes.
And I think, and I'm a great believer in this life. If we miss it, it'll come back around. Either way, good or bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
But we say good and bad again, isn't it?
Yeah.
But those things that we perceive as bad at the time, how many times in later life do we go, actually, if that hadn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened.
No. This is it. And how do people say, they get made redundant and think, oh my, like you say, life's over, but then it works out that was the best thing that ever happened to them.
Yeah.
Time and time. But again, it's accepting and trusting that bigger picture is there. And that you will,
Yeah.
And again, if you want to go back, if you do that on a manifestation terms, then that will come forward, isn't it? But if all you see is the bad stuff, all you're going to get shown is the bad stuff. So you go back to that whole, what you put out there, you get back, don't you? And the whole RAS and all that kind of thing. So it is, like you say, it's just all interlinked.
Yeah, it is. It's incredible.
Yeah, but I think for me, definitely that embracing and that acceptance is the key to the life-changing bit, to making it easier.
It definitely is. And I think if you can't get yourself to a stage at the moment where you can accept, but there are things that you need to sort of work on or change or whatever it is, then just start with embracing it, because I just think that's a little bit of a softer path,
definitely,
to start with. And it's better to start, because then what you'll do is you'll open up that path, and you will, like we were saying, then when you're working on it, you will see more, you will feel more, and you will get to a place where you can accept.
Yeah, and like you say, it's just a gentle way of doing it. But I think the key is actually starting that process of doing that.
It is starting, because I think there's a lot of things we don't realise we don't accept. That was certainly the case for me. And now I suddenly like, oh my God, like, I react to things, whereas actually there's no need to.
No.
But there has to be some sort of acceptance there.
Yeah.
And there's a responsibility for that.
Yeah, this is it, isn't it? And I think, like you say, even though taking responsibility for something, again, that's liberating, because you accept that happened and you played your part in that. But actually, with that acceptance, you forgive yourself, and I think forgiving yourself is a massive thing.
It goes back to, we have to change the language.
Yes.
And we have to change how we see it.
Yeah.
and not just how we've been programmed, like we're saying, good and bad.
Yeah, this is it.
What is good and bad? You
And
know?
that's the thing, isn't it? Like, but it's true, isn't it? I know, even if you get down to the nuts and bolts of what most people would see bad. Say, I watch a lot of Criminal Minds, which just means I end up with watching weird Americans murdering each other all the time in weird and wonderful ways. I'd love to know whose mind came up with this stuff, I'm telling you, because either half of this stuff is true and this has happened, or somebody's got the most vivid imagination. But when you watch that, and especially when it comes to serial killers, and that, it was something that they said the other day, but it all comes down, and again, this is not something we generally talk about a lot, but that need of murdering somebody else fulfills a need in that person. Now, most people aren't generally born like that way, generally.
Yeah.
But for them, that might be normal.
Yeah. And the way they do it fulfills a need.
Yes.
And then the whole trail of a serial killer.
Yes.
Feels a need.
Yeah, that's it, and it's fulfilling a need.
Yeah.
So for them, that person in that time, that doesn't feel bad.
Yeah.
It feels good to them because it's fulfilling a need.
Can I just put something in here? I'm going to spend the next 2 hours in the car with Lynn. If you don't ever hear from me again, just putting it there.
I shall be doing a med podcast on my own. We will be talking about serial murderers.
Just leave that thought with you guys, please.
Love it. You'd be like, oh my god, they're going to be waiting for another 2 weeks going, shit, is she going to be there or not? But in their head, they're not doing anything bad.
No.
To the rest of us,
they are.
They're doing the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
But so again, that whole good and bad is subjective and into your programming, into everything else, isn't it?
Yeah. And like you said earlier with the angry thing, for all our lives we've been taught that angry is bad. It's not. It's an emotion we all have, and it's an emotion we need, because otherwise we'd all be dead, because it's like we need that anger.
This
sometimes.
Is it, isn't it? But if somebody's brought up in a very angry household, that's
the norm.
That's the norm to them.
Yeah.
So it's really, I don't.
And this is why we need the acceptance, because
Yes.
you never know
Exactly
what is on that other side of the door, what is in that head, what's going through somebody's mind, what's going through their life. So you can't. That's the word. You know what I mean.
But you can't, can you? And I've seen memes with it, and that quote, isn't it? You never know what somebody else is going through, so always be kind.
Yeah.
Because you don't.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's a twat to you, they may have some major shit going on in their lives. Yeah. They've not meant to be to you.
No, they may just be a twat.
Well, they could. There are the odd one or two out there.
But in general.
Yeah.
In general. And the thing is, when people are twats, and then they're treated as twats, they become twats.
We get, because it becomes that.
My mum always used to say, you call the village idiot enough times, and that's what they become.
Yeah.
And that is so true, because then they believe
that that's all they're worth.
That's the worth. Exactly that. Yeah.
Isn't it? So you call somebody a twat enough times, they're going to believe they're a twat.
Yeah.
And their behaviour will perpetuate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all goes round and round in that bloody girt melting pot.
It does, though, doesn't it? It absolutely
So I've got now visions of a massive cauldron now. Us two stir in here.
As long as the two of us are stirring it, that's fine. As long as I'm not in the pot, we're all right.
Would I put you in the pot? I can't believe you would think that of me. Would I put you in the pot?
might be times, you know. There might be times.
Right, should we leave these lovely folk to it? Now we've given them like loads of information to go on. They're like
blew their brains now.
I've blown. Yeah, I've got this like tittle like that emoji with its brain.
Oh, I love that emoji.
Right, you lovely lot. Have a fabulous rest of your Sunday, and we will speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. So much for listening to Chatting Bollocks and Ball with Lynn and Tracy.
If you would like to see or hear more of us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or of course by subscribing to the podcast.
If you share this podcast with others, you will make two old birds very happy. And finally, if you want more bollocks and bull in your life,
and who wouldn't,
then sign up to our newsletter. The link is in the show notes.
That's all, folks.
Love ya!